Welcome, folks. Yesterday we flew from Seattle, Washington to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. We had a problem catching an ILS frequency on our landing, but it was successful. Good flight overall. We did it over two streams, part one and part two. It is a very short flight. I'm hoping today to do it all in one stream. We are now in Vancouver and returning back to Seattle. Live time, live weather. But we're going to start where I usually start with the flight planning. So we are in the dispatch office right now. We have our SimToolKitPro here on the left, and we have the A320 takeoff calculator here on the right. I'm going to start with the takeoff calculator, let it generate the random load, and then I'm going to take that random load over to the SimToolKitPro, and it's going to insert that into SimBrief. And SimBrief will create our flight plan, and then we will data link from the dispatch office into the aircraft. We'll have our SimBrief plan in the airplane. So, starting at the top, weight and balance, we are flight number 43. Our destination is Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. Our aircraft registration is November 747 Echo Charlie. We have a 2 flight deck crew and 4 cabin crew configuration in a 180 seat aircraft. Passenger demand is high, baggage demand is low, and cargo demand is none. Well, we'll just make that low. And again, we're going to let the program load a random load. So push random load. And there we go. 173 seats out of 180. 90, 81, oh, what is heck? Oh, okay, there's the breakdown, the 90, 81, and 2. I'm not sure exactly how that lays out in the classes, but 173 passengers, there's our bag total, and we are going to push initiate. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Okay, new random load. Oh, I think, okay. Okay, there's our weight and balance. We have our random load. Let's go to the takeoff screen. We are in an A320 aircraft with CFM engines. Units are metric. Our origin ICAO is CYVR. I think the reason the initialization button didn't work is because I hadn't filled out this section yet. CYVR. Outside air temperature. Oh, goodness. You know, I kind of knew that was coming, but I didn't fully realize it. So let's get the sim fired up. And we'll have that outside air temperature number. And yesterday we didn't start with the A320 takeoff calculator, and while I was setting up the McDo, I made up just out of thin air two numbers. And the two numbers I made up were the flex temp, that's artificial temperature that tricks the engines into operating less efficiently for noise abatement and engine life. That was one of the numbers I made up, and the other number I made up was the stabilizer trim setting. And those two numbers come from the um, takeoff A320 takeoff calculator. So today, instead of making those numbers up, I thought I would start from scratch, and we would have those numbers from a calculated source instead of the back of my brain. So that was the whole reason for using the takeoff calculator, and we'll get back to it here in just a little bit. We are at Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo. Of course, that assumes I can spell Victor, Romeo. Vancouver International. It's early morning. It's early morning here in the central United States. It's especially early morning out in the West Coast. It's 4:55. It's almost 5 a.m. here in Minnesota, so it's 3 a.m. in Vancouver. And we'll find a gate about 16A. And I know the conditions are going to be all players, live traffic, live weather. That's fine. And we will go to fly. Let's fire up our add-ons, which are Pushback Express, give us a realistic pushback and a ground crew, some other ground handling options, and FS2 Crew, which will give me a virtual first officer, help me run some checklists. Both programs are written by a company called FS2 Crew. They've been doing it for a good long time, and they're very good at it. One of the programs that I miss from them is the one for the Cessna 172. There used to be a Cessna 172 written by a company called F1. I believe it was called the F1 software. It was a very good 172 for Microsoft 2004 or 2000 FS9, and they had a add-on that I really liked. Oh, this payware airport is fantastic. Seattle is default, but Vancouver is payware, and there are two providers of CYVR in the Microsoft Store right now. I wish I could tell you which was which, but this was the first one to come out, and I don't think the second one to come out. It's, you know, the first one they took the chance, they made the investment, and the second one to come out, if you're going to get my business, you've really got to blow away the first one, and they didn't. And they were okay. The second one was okay. I did not buy it, but I looked at some reviews, and I've seen the product. while we're here, let's go ahead and attach the jet bridge. That cabin door should open. And we'll get the baggage process started. But the real reason we're here is to get that outside air temperature figure. So let's go here, and the outside air temperature is 8 degrees centigrade or Celsius. I don't know which it is. I'm a silly American and I don't deal with such numbers usually. So let's go back to our calculator. Outside air temperature is 8. My endeavor today is to not make up any numbers. The numbers may not be perfect, but they come from a source other than me. That's my goal today, to get every number from a source other than me. Current pressure setting is 3021. That's a high pressure setting. We're going to have good flying weather. Wind direction is from 070 at 5 knots. Elevation is 35 feet. Oh, wait a second. Why? Okay, CYVR. We may be at 35 feet altitude registered on the airplane, but that's here at the gate. The airport elevation is already the field is pre-populated with 14, so we'll leave it at 14. The runways are plenty long here, so 1+F flap setting is fine. I usually leave the packs on. Anti-ice will be off. Runway conditions are dry. Okay, stabilizer trim is what we want. So now that we have that information in there, let's push this initialization button and see what happens. Error occurred. Please try again. I didn't really want to pick a runway at this stage. Well, with winds from 070, how about we take runway 8 right? Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. 8 right up here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, folks, we gave the takeoff calculator the college try, so I'm going to continue on without it. And those two numbers, the flex temp number and the stabilizer trim number, will again come from the back of my imagination. Someday those will be real numbers, but not today. Okay, so here we are at SimToolKitPro. This is basically a wraparound for SimBrief. So I'm going to go to IFR flight planning, create a new flight plan. Our departure airport will be Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo, CYVR, and we are going to Seattle, Kilo, Sierra Echo Alpha. In our fleet, we have a A320 Echo Charlie, which is an American Airlines A320. I'm going to get rid of this flight number AA because it leads to a double air traffic control. When air traffic control calls our number, they'll say American Airlines AA flight 43, and I don't want that AA in there, just the American Airlines. So it'll be AAL, nothing here, and then 43. Because we didn't get a random load from the calculator, I'm going to let SimBrief determine the random load. And we'll say generate flight. We're gonna have we may have a AIRAC mismatch. Yep, I thought we might have an AIRAC mismatch. Yesterday I tried to update the SimToolKitPro to 2104, but for some reason it didn't take. So we're one AIRAC cycle off, but that's okay. Let's go to fly now. No SIM connection, that's not good. Now we have a SIM connection. And you folks at home in the studio audience now have a flight progress bar at the top of the screen, which is kind of nice. Let's hop aboard.
Let's start setting up.
Okay.
We have ground power available, so we'll use it. Battery 1 on. Battery 2 on. Arm the emergency exits. Turn up the rheostat. Get a little interior lighting in here. Oops, why? There we go. Nav lights on, wing lights on, adheres system number 1 to nav. adhere system number 2 to nav, adhere system number 3 to nav. We'll do a test of the fire alarm on the APU, auxiliary power unit. That is successful. We'll do a cargo smoke test. That is successful. And we are done up here for right now. Down to the McDo. Let's go to our company menu, ATSU, AOC. We'll initialize the flight by requesting our flight data from our dispatch office that we set up on SimBrief. I don't like this. Private 43. I wonder why it didn't take the American Airlines 43. That might cause me some grief when it comes to air traffic control. I don't know. Vancouver to Seattle, that fuel quantity is a little bit high. Get my TrackIR set up here very quickly. Oops, where did it go? Oh, this is not good. This is, and I've had this happen before, where TrackIR is not recognized as a running program, and I can't shut it down, I can't do anything with it. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to reboot the computer, and we'll get TrackIR the way it should be. Hope to see you folks again very soon.